High above the world, where clouds kiss the sky and the earth seems a distant memory, stands Mount Olympus, the grand home of the gods. This majestic mountain, shrouded in mist and mystery, is not just a towering peak, it is the heart of divine power, where every gust of wind whispers the stories of ancient deities. Mount Olympus rises as a symbol of the gods' eternal rule, its snow-capped summit visible even from the farthest corners of Greece. This is not merely a physical place, but a sacred haven, where the divine beings reside far from the troubles and turmoils of human life. Its peaks touch the heavens, making it a fitting abode for the 12 Olympian gods who govern all aspects of existence. Here, amidst the clouds and the stars, these gods watch over the world, their presence felt in every thunderstorm and harvest moon. The 12 Olympians are the core of Greek mythology, each a powerful deity with their own domain and influence. They are not just distant figures in stories, but are as alive and vibrant as the world they watch over. Zeus, the king of the gods, stands at the forefront. His presence is like a thunderbolt, commanding respect and awe. As the ruler of Olympus, he wields the mighty thunderbolt, a symbol of his control over the heavens and the earth. His gaze is both feared and revered, ensuring that justice and order are maintained across the universe. Beside him is Hera, his queen, whose influence spans the sanctity of marriage and family. Her beauty and strength are matched only by her fierce protectiveness over her realm. The stories of Hera's wrath and resilience paint a picture of a goddess who balances love with authority, embodying the complex nature of divine power. Poseidon, the god of the sea, is another figure of immense significance. His trident controls the oceans, stirring storms and calming waters. His moods are as unpredictable as the sea itself, reflecting the deep connection he has with the waves and creatures beneath. Poseidon's realm is one of both danger and beauty, a testament to the power he wields over the world's largest and most mysterious domain. Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, brings the earth to life with her touch. Her connection to the harvest and the changing seasons is profound, as she nurtures the land and ensures its fertility. The stories of her daughter Persephone's abduction and return are more than myths. They explain the cycles of nature, reflecting the deep bond between mother and daughter and the eternal rhythm of the earth. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, stands as a beacon of intellect and strategy. Born from Zeus's forehead, she represents a fusion of wisdom and warfare, embodying both the pursuit of knowledge and the art of battle. Athena's guidance to heroes like Odysseus showcases her role as a protector and mentor, her influence guiding mortals through their greatest trials. Apollo, the god of the sun, music, and prophecy, shines with the light of creativity and foresight. His oracle at Delphi offers glimpses into the future, while his music and healing arts touch the lives of gods and mortals alike. Apollo's gifts are a reminder of the divine presence in both the arts and the pursuit of knowledge, his influence felt in every note of music and every moment of foresight. Artemis, his twin sister, is the goddess of the hunt and wilderness. Her bond with nature is profound, as she roams the forests and mountains with her bow, protecting the creatures of the wild. Artemis is both fierce and nurturing, her role as a guardian of young women and animals reflecting her deep connection to the natural world. Ares, the god of war, embodies the chaotic and destructive side of conflict. Unlike Athena, Ares thrives in the midst of battle and strife, his presence felt in the heat of combat. His role is a reminder of the harsher aspects of war and the complexities of divine influence over human affairs. Finally, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, touches the hearts of both gods and mortals. Her presence brings romance and desire, her beauty a symbol of the power of love and attraction. Aphrodite's stories are filled with passion and longing, reflecting the powerful force of love that shapes the world in both joyful and tragic ways. These gods, each with their own distinct roles and powers, form the heart of Olympus. Their lives intertwine with those of mortals, their stories shaping the fabric of Greek mythology. Olympus, with its divine inhabitants, is not just a place but a living, breathing force that influences every aspect of life, from the smallest flower to the grandest storm. In their divine presence, the gods of Olympus remind us of the profound connection between the celestial and the earthly, between the divine and the mortal. In the heart of ancient Greece, where myths blend with reality, there emerged a god so powerful, his name would echo through the ages, Zeus. His story begins in darkness, where the fate of the world rested on a knife's edge. Zeus was born to Cronus and Rhea, in a time when the earth was ruled by the Titans, giants of immense power. Cronus, the Titan king, feared a prophecy that one of his children would overthrow him. To prevent this, he swallowed each of his newborn children. But when Rhea gave birth to Zeus, she could not bear to see her son consumed by his father. With courage and love, she hid the baby on the island of Crete. Zeus grew up in secret, nurtured by the nymphs and protected by the mountain. As he grew stronger, so did his resolve to rescue his siblings and reclaim his rightful place. One day, with the help of his mother, Zeus made a bold decision. He approached Cronus and tricked him into drinking a potion that forced him to disgorge his swallowed children. Out they came, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, reunited and ready to challenge their father's tyranny. The battle that followed was nothing short of epic. The sky crackled with lightning, and the earth trembled as the gods clashed with the Titans. Zeus, with his thunderbolt, led the charge. His power was magnificent and terrifying, a force of nature itself. His eyes blazed with determination, and his voice roared like a storm. The Titans, overwhelmed by the combined might of the Olympians, were defeated and cast into the depths of Tartarus, a dark abyss beneath the earth. With the Titans vanquished, Zeus ascended to the throne of Olympus, the highest peak of the world. His domain was the sky, and from this lofty perch, he ruled with a mixture of strength and wisdom. The sky became his canvas, painted with thunder and lightning, storms and calm, each reflecting his mood and decisions. His thunderbolt was not just a weapon but a symbol of his authority and power, a reminder of his role as the god who maintained order and justice. Zeus's rule was not just about power, it was also about balance. He was the god of justice, ensuring that the laws of the gods and humans were upheld. His decisions were final, and his judgments were swift. Yet, his justice was not always easy or kind. Zeus's sense of right and wrong could be as harsh as it was fair. When mortals or gods crossed him, they faced his thunderbolt's wrath, a reminder of his immense power and his commitment to balance. One of the most touching myths about Zeus involves his love for humanity. Once, Zeus took on the form of a humble visitor and visited the homes of mortals. In his guise, he tested their hospitality and kindness. In one story, he and Hermes, disguised as poor travelers, were turned away from every home they visited. Only an elderly couple, Philemon and Baucis, welcomed them with open arms, offering all they had despite their poverty. Moved by their generosity, Zeus revealed his true identity and rewarded them by transforming their humble home into a grand temple. Philemon and Baucis were granted eternal life, serving as priests in their new temple, a testament to the power of kindness and the god's ability to reward the virtuous. Another story highlights Zeus's role as a protector and father. He fathered many children with mortals and goddesses alike. Among his mortal offspring was Heracles, a hero of immense strength and courage. Heracles' life was fraught with trials and challenges, often set upon him by Zeus's wife, Hera, who resented Heracles as a rival. Despite these trials, Zeus's love for his son was unwavering. He aided Heracles in his quest to become a true hero, showing that even a king of the gods could be a devoted father. Zeus's life and reign were marked by complex relationships and intricate stories. His marriage to Hera, while deeply intertwined with love, was also fraught with conflicts. Zeus's numerous affairs with goddesses and mortals often sparked jealousy and anger from Hera, leading to dramatic and emotional confrontations. These stories of love, betrayal, and reconciliation reflect the depth of Zeus's character and the turbulent nature of divine relationships. From the throne of Olympus, Zeus's influence extended beyond the heavens. His presence was felt in every storm, every rainbow, every justice meted out on earth. His thunderbolts commanded the skies, while his judgments shaped the destinies of gods and mortals alike. He was a figure of immense power and emotion, embodying both the majesty and the complexities of divine rule. Zeus's story is a tapestry of power, justice, and love. His rise from a hidden child to the king of the gods is a tale of resilience and courage. His rule over Olympus and his interactions with gods and mortals reflect the profound impact of his presence in the world. Through triumphs and trials, his legacy endures, a symbol of the might and majesty of the ancient Greek pantheon. In the grand tapestry of ancient Greek mythology, Hera stands out as the majestic queen of the gods, her story interwoven with passion, power, and an unyielding sense of duty. Her presence is felt in every tale of love and strife, where her role as the goddess of marriage and family is both revered and challenged. Hera's story begins in the early days of the cosmos as the daughter of the titans Cronus and Rhea. From her birth, she was destined for greatness, her beauty and strength marking her as a key figure in the divine world. As she matured, Hera's presence became a beacon of nobility and grace, catching the eye of Zeus, the newly crowned king of the gods. Their marriage was a union of immense significance. Zeus, drawn to Hera's regal bearing and divine majesty, sought her hand in marriage. For Hera, this union was not just a personal bond, but a symbol of her role as the queen, the goddess who would uphold the sanctity of marriage and family across the heavens. Despite the grandeur of their wedding, the path of their relationship was often tumultuous, reflecting the challenges of their powerful positions. As the goddess of marriage and family, Hera's role was to protect and bless the institution of marriage. She was the guardian of families, ensuring that unions were sacred and respected. Her influence extended to the mortal world, where her blessings were sought for harmonious marriages and fruitful families. Hera's presence in these aspects of life was both comforting and commanding, a divine force that watched over the bonds between husband and wife. Yet, Hera's life was far from serene. Her marriage to Zeus was marred by his countless infidelities, which fueled a storm of emotions within her. Her wrath was legendary, a fierce storm that could shake the heavens. Each time Zeus's unfaithfulness came to light, Hera's anger erupted with a force that was both terrifying and poignant. Her jealousy and hurt were not merely reactions, but profound responses to the betrayal of a partner she loved deeply. This emotional turmoil made her one of the most complex figures in Greek mythology. One of the most heart-wrenching stories involving Hera is the tale of her vengeance against Zeus's lovers and their offspring. Her anger was not just about personal betrayal, but also about maintaining her authority and dignity. Take, for example, the story of Heracles, Zeus's mortal son. Hera, feeling threatened by Heracles' very existence, set him on a path of suffering from birth. She sent serpents to kill him while he was still a baby, only for Heracles to display his divine strength by slaying the serpents with his tiny hands. Despite his heroic feats, Hera's disdain for him never wavered, illustrating the deep scars of her wounded pride. Another poignant tale is that of Io, a mortal woman whom Zeus fell in love with. To hide Io from Hera's wrath, Zeus transformed her into a white cow. Hera, suspicious and unwilling to let the matter rest, demanded the cow as a gift. She then placed Io under the watchful eye of the hundred-eyed giant Argus, ensuring her torment was unending. The story of Io is a powerful example of Hera's unrelenting vengeance and her ability to impose suffering as a means of reclaiming her wounded dignity. Hera's story also encompasses moments of profound sadness and isolation. Her wrath, while fearsome, often left her feeling alone in her emotions, grappling with the weight of her divine responsibilities and personal betrayals. Her struggle to balance her role as the queen of the gods with her personal heartache reflects the deep emotional complexities she faced. Despite her fierce anger and the trials she endured, Hera's role as the goddess of marriage and family was not diminished. Her protective nature was evident in her involvement with other gods and mortals who sought her blessing. She was a figure of authority and compassion, her influence crucial in maintaining the sacredness of family bonds. Her actions, though often driven by personal pain, were also a testament to her deep commitment to the values she upheld. In the grand scheme of Greek mythology, Hera's life is a poignant narrative of power, love, and heartache. Her position as the queen of the gods was marked by both regal splendor and profound personal struggles. Her stories are not just about divine retribution, but also about the emotional depths of love and betrayal, reflecting the rich and complex nature of her character. In the ancient world, where the waves crashed and the earth trembled, Poseidon reigned supreme as the god of the sea. His presence was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a reminder of the immense power that lay beneath the ocean's surface and within the trembling earth. Poseidon's domain was the vast and unpredictable ocean, a boundless expanse of water that mirrored his mighty and often tempestuous nature. With his trident in hand, he commanded the sea's every movement. One strike of his trident could stir a storm, summon monstrous waves, or calm the waters to a tranquil stillness. His control over the oceans was absolute, reflecting the raw and untamed forces of nature that he governed. But Poseidon's influence was not limited to the sea alone. He was also the god of earthquakes, a force as powerful and sudden as the crashing waves. When he struck the earth with his trident, the ground would quake and split, showcasing his dominion over both land and sea. His moods could change as swiftly as a storm at sea, and his anger could bring about both tidal waves and earth-shaking quakes, leaving both sailors and land dwellers in fear and awe. Poseidon's presence in mythology was as powerful as his domain. Sailors revered him and offered sacrifices to ensure safe passage across the treacherous seas. He was seen as a force of both protection and peril. When sailors sailed into his favor, the waters would calm, and their journeys would be smooth. But if they angered him, the ocean could become a roiling, chaotic expanse, with waves crashing against ships and threatening to send them to the depths. In the myths, Poseidon's temperament often played a crucial role in the fates of both mortals and gods. One of the most dramatic stories is the tale of the Trojan War. As punishment for not being invited to the wedding of Peleus and Thetis, Poseidon, along with Hera and Athena, took sides against the Trojans. Poseidon unleashed his fury upon the Greek forces by sending a sea monster to terrorize them, showcasing his ability to intervene in mortal affairs with devastating consequences. Another compelling story is the myth of Poseidon and the city of Athens. Poseidon and Athena vied for the honor of becoming the patron deity of the city. In their contest, Poseidon struck the ground with his trident, causing a saltwater spring to gush forth. Though the spring was impressive, it was not as useful to the people as Athena's gift of the olive tree, which provided food, oil, and wood. The city chose Athena, and Poseidon's wrath was felt as he withdrew his favor, leading to a series of challenges for the city's residents. Poseidon's interactions with other gods also reveal the depth of his character. In his rivalry with Zeus, Poseidon's temper often clashed with the king of the gods. Their disagreements could shake the heavens and the earth, illustrating the delicate balance of power among the Olympian gods. Despite their conflicts, Poseidon's respect for Zeus was undeniable, as they both understood the weight of their respective dominions. Among the sea creatures, Poseidon was revered as a god of immense power and majesty. The myths often describe his chariot, drawn by magnificent horses or sea creatures, gliding over the waves with regal splendor. His influence extended to the many mythical beings that inhabited the ocean, from the graceful nereids to the fearsome sea monsters. Poseidon's ability to command these creatures was a testament to his unmatched control over the sea. One of the most heart-wrenching stories involving Poseidon is his love for the nymph Aphrodite. Despite his fearsome reputation, Poseidon's love for Aphrodite was tender and sincere. When she initially rejected his advances, Poseidon sent dolphins to search for her and eventually persuaded her to marry him. Their union brought harmony to the sea, and Aphrodite became the queen of the ocean, sharing Poseidon's reign with grace and dignity. Poseidon's role in Greek mythology is a vivid portrayal of the mighty force of nature. His control over the sea and earthquakes, his influence on sailors and sea creatures, and his powerful presence in myths all paint a picture of a god whose might is as vast and unpredictable as the ocean he commands. Through his stories, we see a deity whose power is both awe-inspiring and humbling, a reminder of the immense forces that shape our world and the divine presence that governs them. In the heart of the ancient world, where the land's blessings were seen as the greatest gifts, Demeter stood as the cherished goddess of agriculture. Her presence was felt in every grain of wheat and every blooming flower, a gentle reminder of the life-giving power of the earth. Demeter's role was as vital as the very soil that nourished the crops. As the goddess of the harvest and fertility, she governed the growth of plants and the abundance of the earth. Farmers prayed to her for bountiful harvests, knowing that her favor was essential for the crops to flourish. With her touch, the fields would ripen and the grain would swell, promising sustenance and prosperity for all. Yet, Demeter's story is deeply entwined with the sorrow of her daughter, Persephone. The tale of Persephone is a heart-wrenching testament to a mother's love and the cyclical nature of life. Persephone, Demeter's beloved daughter, was known for her beauty and grace. One day, as she wandered through a field of flowers, the ground suddenly split open, and Hades, the god of the underworld, emerged in his chariot. In a moment of cruel fate, he abducted Persephone and took her to his dark realm. The news of her daughter's abduction sent Demeter into a frantic search. Her grief was profound, and her sorrow manifested in a world that turned barren and cold. The earth withered as Demeter's despair grew, and the once fertile fields became desolate. Crops failed, and famine spread, reflecting the goddess's deep anguish and the crucial link between her emotions and the earth's bounty. The gods, seeing the suffering caused by Demeter's grief, intervened. Zeus, the king of the gods, negotiated with Hades to allow Persephone to return to her mother. Hades agreed, but before Persephone could leave, he offered her a pomegranate. Because she ate a few seeds, she was bound to return to the underworld for a portion of each year. Thus, the cycle of the seasons was born. Every year, when Persephone returned to the underworld, Demeter would fall into mourning, and the earth would become cold and barren. This period marked the winter months, a time of hardship and scarcity. When Persephone returned to the surface, Demeter's joy brought forth spring and summer, with the land blooming and crops flourishing once more. The changing seasons became a powerful symbol of Demeter's relationship with her daughter and her influence over the earth's fertility. Demeter's impact on ancient Greek culture was profound and enduring. The rituals and festivals held in her honor were crucial to the agricultural calendar. The Eleusinian Mysteries, one of the most significant religious rites of ancient Greece, were dedicated to Demeter and Persephone. These mysteries were celebrated with great reverence, reflecting the deep connection between the goddess and the cycles of nature. The Eleusinian Mysteries involved elaborate ceremonies and rituals that celebrated the changing seasons and honored Demeter's role in ensuring the earth's fertility. The rites were shrouded in secrecy, but they were known to promise participants a more favorable afterlife, connecting Demeter's influence over life and death with the hope of renewal and eternal sustenance. Demeter's presence in Greek mythology is a powerful reminder of the deep bond between humanity and the natural world. Her story is one of profound love and sacrifice, intertwined with the rhythms of the seasons and the cycles of life. The myths of Demeter and Persephone capture the essence of a goddess whose care for the earth and her daughter shaped the very fabric of life, ensuring that the blessings of the harvest would continue for generations to come. In the grand expanse of Greek mythology, Athena emerges as a figure of profound power and wisdom. Her origins are as remarkable as her deeds. From the very beginning, she was different from other gods. Born fully grown and clad in armor from the head of her father, Zeus, Athena's arrival was nothing short of extraordinary. This dramatic birth, sparked by a sudden headache that Zeus could not bear, marked her as a deity of unmatched intellect and strategic prowess. Athena's attributes reflect her unique nature. She is often depicted with a shield, a spear, and a helmet, symbolizing her role as the goddess of warfare. Yet, unlike other deities of battle, her warfare is not merely about brute strength, but about cunning and strategy. She is also the goddess of wisdom. Her mind is sharp as the blade she wields. Her intelligence guides both gods and mortals, making her a beacon of strategic thinking and thoughtful planning. Her role as the goddess of wisdom and strategy is reflected in many of the great myths of ancient Greece. Athena's influence is felt in the decisions of heroes and the outcome of epic quests. One of the most touching and vivid tales is that of Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca who faced unimaginable challenges on his journey home from the Trojan War. Odysseus's voyage was fraught with danger and deception, and he often found himself in perilous situations. Yet, through it all, Athena stood as his guiding light. Her support was not only a gift of divine favor but also a testament to her belief in Odysseus's resourcefulness and bravery. In moments of dire need, Athena would appear to offer advice or protection, her wisdom steering him away from dangers and towards opportunities for success. One notable instance of her aid came during Odysseus's encounter with the Cyclops Polyphemus. Trapped in the monster's cave, Odysseus faced a dire threat. Athena guided him with her wisdom, helping him devise a plan to escape. With her advice, Odysseus cleverly tricked Polyphemus into revealing his name, allowing them to escape unharmed. This episode highlighted Athena's role as a protector who empowers heroes not with sheer force but with insight and cleverness. Another poignant tale involves the contest between Athena and Poseidon for the patronage of the city of Athens. Each god sought to offer the city a gift, and the people of Athens were to choose which was better. Poseidon struck the earth with his trident, creating a saltwater spring. Though impressive, it was not practical for the city's needs. Athena, on the other hand, gifted them with the olive tree, which provided food, oil, and wood. The olive tree symbolized peace and prosperity, and the city chose Athena's gift, naming the city Athens in her honor. This myth not only showcases Athena's wisdom but also her deep connection to the well-being of the people she protected. Athena's presence in myths extends beyond her interactions with heroes. Her role in the Iliad, where she aids the Greeks during the Trojan War, underscores her importance in both strategy and warfare. She intervenes in battles, not merely to support her favorite side, but to ensure that justice and skill prevail over chaos and recklessness. Her influence is also evident in her role as a guardian of cities and a patron of various arts and crafts. Athena's guidance helped advance skills like weaving and metallurgy, reflecting her comprehensive wisdom that encompasses both martial and intellectual domains. Athena's stories are more than just accounts of divine intervention, they are reflections of the ideals she represents. Her wisdom, courage, and fairness resonate deeply, showing how a goddess's guidance can shape the fates of heroes and the destiny of cities. Her impact on Greek culture is profound, representing the ideal blend of intellect and valor, a reminder of how wisdom and strategy can triumph over sheer force. In the tapestry of Greek mythology, Apollo shines with a brilliance that captivates the imagination. He is the god who illuminates both the sky and the soul, embodying the pure light of the sun and the sweet harmony of music. His presence is as vibrant as the sunlight that dances on the waves and as profound as the melodies that stir the heart. Apollo's dual role as a god of light and music makes him a figure of exceptional beauty and power. As the god of the sun, he rides his golden chariot across the sky, bringing light to the world and chasing away the darkness of night. His radiance is not merely a physical illumination but a symbol of truth and clarity, dispelling ignorance and falsehood with his brilliance. In addition to his role as a sun god, Apollo is the patron of music and the arts. His lyre, a divine instrument crafted by Hermes, produces melodies that can soothe and inspire. The music of Apollo is not just for pleasure, it is a profound expression of harmony and order. It is said that his music could bring peace to the troubled mind and joy to the desolate heart. Through his songs, Apollo touched the lives of both gods and mortals, weaving a thread of divine beauty through the fabric of their existence. Apollo's influence extends beyond the realms of light and music to the sacred oracle of Delphi. This revered site was considered the center of the world, where Apollo himself spoke through the Pythia, a priestess who would deliver prophecies in a trance-like state. People from all corners of Greece traveled to Delphi seeking guidance on matters of great importance. The words of the Pythia, while often cryptic, were believed to carry the wisdom of Apollo, offering insights into the future and guiding decisions that could shape destinies. The oracle at Delphi was not just a place of prophecy but also a site of healing. Apollo, known for his ability to cure and alleviate suffering, was revered as a god of medicine and healing. His son, Asclepius, inherited this gift and became a renowned healer, but Apollo's influence was felt through the many sanctuaries dedicated to health and well-being. Among the myths that highlight Apollo's profound connection with mortals, the story of Daphne stands out with poignant beauty. Daphne, a nymph, was pursued by Apollo, who had been struck by Eros's arrow and fell deeply in love with her. However, Daphne was not interested in Apollo's advances and fled from him. In her desperation, she called upon her father, the river god Peneus, who transformed her into a laurel tree to escape the god's embrace. Apollo, heartbroken yet respectful of her wish, vowed to honor her by wearing a laurel wreath forever, making it a symbol of victory and eternal remembrance. Another touching myth involves Apollo's tragic love for the mortal Cronus. Despite their love, Cronus was unfaithful, and Apollo, devastated by her betrayal, was forced to take drastic action. He sent his twin sister, Artemis, to punish Cronus, who was ultimately killed. Even in his grief and anger, Apollo could not bear to see her burn on the pyre without saving their unborn child. He rescued the baby, Asclepius, and raised him with great care, ensuring the continuation of his healing legacy. Apollo's interactions with mortals are filled with lessons of both joy and sorrow. His influence could uplift and inspire, as seen in his support of heroes like Heracles, whom he guided and encouraged. Yet, his presence also carried the weight of divine expectations and consequences, as seen in the tragic outcomes of his love stories and the unyielding nature of his prophecies. Apollo's legacy is woven into the fabric of Greek culture, his light casting a long and enduring shadow. Through his roles as the god of the sun, music, and prophecy, he embodies the profound connections between beauty, truth, and fate. His myths, filled with the highs and lows of divine intervention, reveal a deity whose influence extends beyond the divine realm, touching the hearts and lives of those who sought his guidance and inspiration. In the heart of the ancient forests, where the light filters through the leaves and the air is filled with the call of wild creatures, Artemis reigns as the untamed goddess of the hunt and wilderness. Her presence is felt in every rustle of the underbrush and every whisper of the wind, embodying the raw, unbridled power of nature. Artemis, a daughter of Zeus, commands the wild with a grace and fierceness that is unmatched. As the goddess of the hunt, she roams the forests with her silver bow and arrows, always accompanied by her pack of loyal hunting dogs. Her connection to the natural world is profound and sacred. The animals of the forest are her companions and protectors, and she moves through the wilderness with a reverence that ensures the balance of life and the preservation of nature. Her role extends beyond the realm of the hunt. Artemis is also known as a guardian of young women and a symbol of independence and purity. She values her virginity fiercely, rejecting the advances of any suitor and remaining devoted solely to her pursuits in the wild. This commitment to her own freedom and her role as protector makes her a beloved figure among those who seek to honor and preserve the untouched beauty of nature. The stories of Artemis are filled with moments of both beauty and intensity. One of the most poignant myths involves the tale of Athena, a mortal hunter who accidentally stumbled upon Artemis while she bathed in a secluded forest pool. The sight of the goddess in her sacred moment was a grave offense, and in her anger, Artemis transformed Athena into a stag. The very hounds he once commanded turned against him, and he was hunted down and killed by his own dogs. This tragic end reflects Artemis's fierce protection of her privacy and her uncompromising nature when her sacred spaces are violated. Another touching story is that of the Trojan prince Hippolytus, who was a devout follower of Artemis. Hippolytus rejected the company of women and dedicated himself to the worship of Artemis, embracing her ideals of purity and the hunt. His stepmother, Phaedra, falsely accused him of attempting to seduce her, leading to a tragic series of events orchestrated by the vengeful goddess Aphrodite. The resulting curse led to Hippolytus's death, and Artemis mourned deeply for the loss of her devotee. The myth underscores Artemis's compassion for her followers and her sorrow over the injustices they may suffer. Artemis's protective nature extends to the very heart of the wild. She is known for her efforts to ensure the safety of animals and the sanctity of their habitats. Her dedication to the forest and its creatures is a testament to her role as a guardian of the natural world, striving to maintain the delicate balance that sustains life. Her stories often highlight the respect she commands and the awe she inspires. Artemis's presence is a reminder of the untamed beauty and the powerful forces of nature. Her divine intervention can be as merciful as it is fierce, balancing the needs of the wild with the demands of her sacred vows. Artemis's legacy lives on as a symbol of independence, purity, and the undying connection between humans and nature. Her myths, filled with both tenderness and fierceness, reflect the profound respect and admiration she commands. Through her stories, Artemis continues to embody the spirit of the wilderness, reminding all who hear her tales of the powerful beauty of the natural world and the fierce guardian who protects it. In the heart of battle, where chaos reigns and the clash of steel echoes through the air, Ares stands as the god of war, embodying the savage and tumultuous essence of conflict. Unlike his counterparts, who often bring strategy and honor to warfare, Ares is the god of raw violence and chaos, his presence a storm that sweeps through the battlefield, leaving destruction in its wake. Ares is depicted with a fierce and unrelenting spirit, a figure whose mere presence can ignite the flames of battle. His armor is heavy, his gaze fierce, and his heart is driven by the chaotic force of war itself. Unlike other gods who might fight with purpose or reason, Ares thrives in the frenzy and disorder of combat. His role in the mythological landscape is less about noble heroism and more about the sheer, unfiltered essence of warfare, the clamor, the bloodshed, and the terror that accompany every battle. Yet, Ares is not always viewed with admiration. His less favorable traits are a stark contrast to the more heroic or strategic gods of war. Where Athena brings wisdom and tactical brilliance to the battlefield, Ares is driven by an uncontrollable rage. His participation in battles often leads to needless bloodshed and suffering. He embodies the more brutal aspects of war, the mindless violence and the destruction that come when conflict spirals out of control. One myth that vividly captures Ares' nature involves the Trojan War, where his chaotic influence is clearly felt. During this epic struggle, Ares takes sides with the Trojans, reveling in the carnage and turmoil of the conflict. His presence on the battlefield is marked by a brutal fervor, as he fights with an intensity that reflects his love for chaos rather than any strategic aim. This often leads to catastrophic consequences, not just for the combatants, but for those who find themselves caught in the crossfire of his divine wrath. The story of Ares' role in the battle between the gods is equally striking. During one such divine conflict, Ares found himself at odds with other gods who had their own visions of how the war should unfold. His willingness to embrace the violence and chaos of battle without regard for consequences often set him apart from deities like Athena and Apollo, who sought to influence the outcome through wisdom or skill. His fierce, unchecked aggression sometimes led to conflicts among the gods themselves, illustrating his disruptive influence even among those who should have been his allies. Ares' conflicts extend beyond just the physical battles. His relationships with other gods are often strained and contentious. His father, Zeus, and his sister, Athena, view him with a mixture of disdain and concern. They see him as the necessary but dangerous force, a god whose actions must be managed carefully to prevent further harm. Even his own sister, Athena, who shares a domain of war, holds little respect for his chaotic approach to conflict. The tension between them underscores the discord that Ares' presence can bring, even among the divine. Despite his fearsome reputation, Ares' myths are not without moments of vulnerability. In the tale of his capture by the giant Elodie, he is trapped in a bronze jar for 13 months. This story reveals a different side of Ares, the god of war, powerful and terrifying, yet still subject to the whims of fate and the schemes of others. His eventual release, orchestrated by the gods who see his return as necessary for maintaining balance, highlights his precarious position in the pantheon. The complexity of Ares' character lies in his embodiment of the darker aspects of war. His presence in mythology serves as a reminder of the uncontrollable nature of conflict and the suffering it brings. Where other gods might seek to guide or protect, Ares represents the raw, unrestrained force that can lead to destruction and chaos. Through his myths, Ares stands as a stark embodiment of the chaotic side of war, a force that can bring both glory and ruin. His influence is felt not just in the battlefields of myth, but in the ways that the very nature of conflict is understood and experienced. Ares' presence in these stories, filled with both fearsome wrath and tragic vulnerability, paints a complex picture of the god of war, one that resonates deeply with the primal forces of human nature. In the soft glow of twilight, where beauty and desire intertwine, Aphrodite emerges as the goddess of love and beauty, her presence a radiant beacon in the world of Greek mythology. Her very existence is a testament to the power of allure and the delicate dance of romance that binds hearts together. Born from the sea foam, she embodies the essence of beauty, love, and desire, a force as gentle as the caress of a summer breeze and as powerful as the pull of the tides. Aphrodite's origins are as enchanting as her role. According to myth, she rose from the foam of the sea, a vision of perfect beauty and grace. The moment she emerged, the world was forever changed by her presence. Her beauty was so profound that even the gods could not help but be captivated by her. She carried with her the gift of love, influencing the hearts of both gods and mortals, weaving desire and affection into the fabric of their lives. Her influence over romance and relationships is immense. Aphrodite's power extends to every corner where love blooms, from the tender spark of first attraction to the deep, enduring bond of lifelong love. Her presence in a story often heralds the beginning of intense, often tumultuous relationships. She has the ability to ignite passion and longing, making her a pivotal force in the myths of those who seek her favor. One of the most compelling myths involving Aphrodite is her love affair with Ares, the god of war. Their relationship is a fiery contrast to the gentle nature of Aphrodite. Despite Ares' chaotic and brutal demeanor, Aphrodite's love for him is intense and genuine. Their union is marked by a deep connection that defies their contrasting natures. Their love is not without complications, as it often leads to dramatic and passionate encounters that resonate through the myths of the gods. Aphrodite's relationships with mortals are equally significant. One of the most famous stories is her love affair with Paris, the Trojan prince. Paris, guided by Aphrodite, awarded her the golden apple in a contest of beauty, an act that set off a chain of events leading to the Trojan War. This tale underscores Aphrodite's influence over human affairs and her role in shaping the course of history through the power of love and desire. Another poignant story is that of Psyche, a mortal woman whose beauty rivaled even that of Aphrodite. Jealous of Psyche's allure, Aphrodite sent her son, Eros, to make Psyche fall in love with the most vile of creatures. Instead, Eros himself fell in love with Psyche, leading to a series of trials and tribulations that tested their love and commitment. The story of Psyche and Eros is a testament to the transformative power of love and the trials it can overcome, reflecting both the beauty and the challenges of Aphrodite's influence. Aphrodite's impact extends beyond her own myths. She plays a crucial role in various tales involving love and beauty. Her ability to sway hearts and incite desire makes her a central figure in stories of romance and passion. The gods and mortals who seek her favor often find themselves enmeshed in love's trials, experiencing both its joys and its sorrows. Through her myths, Aphrodite emerges as a powerful yet gentle force, shaping the lives and loves of those who encounter her. Her ability to inspire deep, heartfelt connections and her role in both divine and mortal affairs highlight her significance in the tapestry of Greek mythology. Aphrodite's presence in these stories serves as a reminder of the profound impact that love and beauty can have, creating a lasting legacy that continues to resonate with those who hear her tales.